Hi Adam, how you doing? Welcome back to the Unmatched pub.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Yeah, all good this end. How are you?
Yeah, very good. As you can hear, my dog is wagging his tail against the floor at home today. So very casual pub for us, I think, which is always how it's the best pub visits are, right?
Indeed.
Yeah, so we've got not many updates to talk about today. So we've literally got like 5 minutes, I think, of updates. So am I sharing screen on this one? We didn't prep that far, did we?
But no, if you've got it open, because I had to just close the tab, that'd be great.
Yeah, I've got it open, so I'll bring my screen in here. So the first one we're going to talk about, whilst I bring this up, is managing associations in bulk in HubSpot, which is really nice because otherwise it's quite painful, right? I mean, you can do it via a workflow, and you can do it one by one in the records. But other than that, you're kind of you're stuck really with how you can do that. So bringing that update into screen right now, and my Ringo, what are you doing? Dog's going crazy. So we've got this one here, and I'm just zooming a little bit because I'm on one of those little laptop screens today. But what you can do is you can actually select up to 10 records and remove multiple associations at once. So what this allows you to do, as you can see in this nice little GIF here that HubSpot provided to us, is that you can just quickly go into your kind of company records, and you can quickly just get rid of associations kind of quickly from this user interface. I will say this user interface it's a bit funny, isn't it? Like I haven't quite got used to it, but it almost looks I know the accessibility is important, but just I don't know if it doesn't look as polished, right? I don't know if it's just me, but it
takes some getting used to.
This screen here, I'm like, is this as polished as it should look? But no, it looks good. It's a great feature. So I think that's really helpful, and it's also available on all hubs and tiers, which we think is quite nice.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I'd like to see that get expanded over time, which I'm sure it will, being able to maybe add associations in bulk by searching for a company name or something like that, rather than just deleting and maybe expanding it bigger than 10, because typically when you've got those kind of big associations, it tends to be in those big accounts, and typically you're probably going to be looking at more than 10 contacts perhaps. But again, it's a new feature, right? And it's in beta, so I'm sure over time it'll get bigger and better. But yeah, definitely an improvement.
Yeah, I like this one. I like this one a lot. Sounds good. And moving on to our next one. This is also in a kind of a private beta right now, so not accessible just yet. But HubSpot are working on it, which is great to see. And this is subscriptions event data in the reporting tool. So what you can actually do here now is you can get the people's subscription when they subscribe, when they unsubscribe, all actually in the custom report builder. So yeah, we think this is pretty nice, Adam. What do you think?
Yeah, again, a good addition, especially for the marketing people, and nice to see that it's available in all marketing hubs. And yeah, just gives that next level of insight right into your subscriptions and when people are subscribing or unsubscribing, etc.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah, pretty nice update. And also just interesting here that they've called this out. So in the beta, if you are lucky enough to be into the beta here, it's your data, the events are only going to be stored for 45 days, just so that they can refresh it and keep the system kind of rolling nicely. But they said here upon full release, they will have this kind of like full historic data. So it's not going to be a rolling 45 days going forward. So, and it's available on Marketing Pro, as you'd expect. So yeah, looking pretty good. Any other ones that we've got, notable ones here? I did see this one earlier that I've started using, but like improved organization and search data for variables in workflows. I found that when I'm kind of typing in workflows now, that actually it's a little bit, it slows the system down a little bit with the suggested tokens. I don't know if you found that, Adam, as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of like AI suggestions popping up, right? Like I went to create a property the other day, and it's like, would you like to create the property via a prompt? I was like, no. Like, time it takes me to do that, I'll can create the property. But yeah, I personally haven't used this one yet in terms of in the workflows, but
it looks nice and organized though, right? Like look at this. This is so much nicer in terms of like, you can actually see the action data. So beforehand, if you had like an action like previous in your workflow that you wanted to access in your next step, you have to go into a drop down. It was really difficult to find, and most people didn't know it was there. And then now this action data is right there. So I think there's some, these are kind of really nice little updates that I think add up to quite a lot.
Looks more stripped back and a bit clearer.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's just a bit nicer. Recommended stuff up top as well, so you can quickly build that in. Yeah, I think this is a really nice update. So I'm actually going to enroll our portal in that right now. So there we go. Great stuff. We haven't used this too much, have we? But should we have a look at the contact sidebar in Gmail? I don't think it's actually going to give us a preview, but I did comment on this one, didn't I? Before the kind of podcast. We're a podcast. We're a show, aren't we? Show podcast. Who knows? YouTube extraordinaires. Who knows? I basically just said it's a bit wider, didn't I? That was my kind of assessment. Like, I didn't see too much in there, to be fair. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I don't actually use the sidebar. Obviously, I've got it in my Gmail, but I don't really use it. Maybe more salespeople use it, perhaps, to get more intel on the contact they're emailing, maybe. So it could be useful for them, perhaps.
I think when I use it, it's just much easier to actually read the stuff, right? So like I said, it's a bit wider, it's a bit more accessible, and there's a bit of a theme going there for HubSpot, which is really good to see, because it is important as much as I don't like this new red color. It is important in here. So, Adam, you mentioned about removing white space, and as you can see here, good stuff happening. So do you want to talk us through this one?
Yeah, so now if you join this base, I believe it will automatically kind of format any white space that's added by accident, which is obviously great for marketing people. And I expected when I first saw this, I was like, oh, I wonder if this is like a data hub feature. But I believe it is for all hubs and tiers, which is great to see.
Yeah, I like that. So it says here, format and automatic removal white space, remove disallowed characters, make it so it's required title casing. All that type of stuff's really good. I think your call out here about data hub is important, right? Because, we've been implementing some stuff recently for when some customers are wanting uppercase only, for example, and people hate typing in uppercase. But in data hub, using a workflow, you can format it. They can write it in whatever case you want, and then you just use a workflow to reformat it to uppercase, just for the user experience. I think that's kind of important, isn't it? So, but yeah, really nice to see, especially across all hubs and tiers, because that's again just another win for people who are not on the kind of the pro level packages that most of our kind of customers are. Do you want to call out any Breeze, any AI stuff, Adam, today, or we're running tight on time? I didn't realize how tight we're running on time. So, since inbound, what have you been interested in? What have you been what's been going on since inbound?
Yeah, I think the one that I'm most interested in, but still we haven't really had a chance to probably get under the hood on, is the data studio within Data Hub, being able to pull in some external sources. Starting to think of some decent use cases for that, where people maybe are using a separate enrichment tool to enrich their data, and rather than doing a messy import every time, perhaps that could get it just synced via Data Studio. But as I say, it's been so busy since we've been back from inbound. I haven't really had a chance to actually have a play yet. But I know clients are enjoying Marketing Studio. I think that's a really simple one to be able to implement and kind of just hit the ground running because it's so intuitive. But yeah, how about you?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Marketing Studio has been a massive highlight. I think just in general, I think all the kind of the little features are starting to add up across the platform. The flexible CRM views. I know it wasn't really an inbound announcement, but they've kind of come in really since inbound. I would say are massive. You think about those. Those calendar views for kind of account managers or marketers or renewal people, contract managers. It's just so good. I haven't quite figured out where I'm going to use the Gantt view just yet. It's nice to see deal lengths, when it was created and when it was closed, but do I care that much? I don't know if I do, but there is quite a lot. The flexible CRM views, I think, are the most powerful for me right now. I was just on a call with our developer Chris, and he raised a good point, because there's obviously been some good improvements to the app environment, the app developer tools and stuff like that. And one of the things here was that we're often having to put apps on a contact company or on an object, really, aren't we? It'd be great if you could actually have an app launchable from the navigation, because it's just a general app you want to use in HubSpot. So instead of having to go to the contact, to the company to access it, how good would it be if you could just access it from the nav? So maybe that's something we can hope for in the future. But that's kind of getting a bit of a exposure into that side of HubSpot at the moment. So yeah, all looking really good.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that'd be great to have an app software sidebar that goes straight into, rather than, like you say, having to dig through into an object.
Yeah, there's so many side bits there anyway. There is already a development tab. just allow me to open that up and put my apps in a drop down and or whatever in a kind of a piece of UI, and allow me to click one and launch it, especially with the full screen apps now, just be absolutely awesome. So
yeah, definitely, because even like with our app like Sequential, for example, if you want to change the settings, you've got to go into HubSpot settings, then into your connected apps, then click on Sequential, and then obviously that's the only way of doing it right now. But yeah, that would be awesome if you could just from the left-hand bar go My Apps, Sequential, boom, you're in.
Yeah, it'd just be so good. Yeah, because it's just making that integrated, like unified platform, isn't it, that HubSpot wants? So we can hope. All the product managers are pretty open, aren't they, to feedback and all that type of stuff. So we keep pushing and see what we can get. But Adam, I think we're up on time. Thank you for another great pub.
Yeah, no, all good. Enjoy the weekend, and see you next week.
Yeah, see you next week. Cheers, Adam.
Cheers, Matt. Bye.